How you doing there? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Vav, Daf 6. Masechta Shevuos, friends, your friends. Today's going to be all about Tsaras. Exciting stuff. Yeah, now when I'm recording it, it's Davka, this week's Parsha is Tazria Mitzorah. So Mamish and Yonah Diyama. But Lamaisa, when I think on the appropriate day for this Daf, though, it'll be, I think, following, which is good, because it gives everybody the opportunity to have already done Shnai Mikra V'Echad Targum in advance, to prepare. Okay, here we go. All about Tsaras. Alright, we're going to start on Daf. But yeah, we're going to finish, we're going to do all the Tsaras stuff today, so that it's just one day of it. Okay. Says the Gemure on Daf Hey Amud Beis, about halfway into the Amud, on Daf Hey Amud Beis, there's a 2 dots over there. Maris Negoyim Shnaim Shein Arba. Our Mishnah had said that Tsaras is afflictions, splotches, if you will, 2 that are 4. Okay? There's Baheris and its Tolada, and Se'es and its Tolada, and we're going to learn about those just now. Says the Gemara, Tanan Awesome, we learn over there in Negoyim. Marus Negoyim Shnaim Shehein Arba. Okay. Splotches are 2 that are 4. Now, Baheris Azo Kasheleg Shnirla Kesira Heichol Se'es Katzemer Shnirla Kikrumbeya. Okay. Baheris, okay, so okay. So we're going to be talking today primarily about 4 shades of splotch. 4 shades of white, okay? Now, everybody agrees in the order of whiteness. The brightest shade of white is a Baheris, also known as snow white. The next brightest shade of white is the Se'es, which is wool white. The next brightest shade of white is Sid HaHeichel, lime white, the color of the lime that they had in the sanctuary, in the temple. And finally, Krum Beya, egg membrane white, which I will shorten to egg white. That is the darkest shade of white. So now everybody's in agreement with that from brightest white to least brightest white is snow white, followed by wool white, followed by lime white, followed, last but not least, by egg white. Okay. Now, Baheris and Se'es are the 2 Avs, okay? Those are the parent ones. They're in the Psukim. Now, what the Mishnah is saying is that, so you have a Baheris, which is snow white, and its Tolada, its descendant, is, its child is lime white. And then you have Se'es, which is wool white, and its child is egg white. Right, of course, egg membrane white, but I'm going to brief it to egg white because. Okay, so whenever I say egg white, it means egg membrane white. Now, starting from the beginning. Tanan Awesome, we learn over there in Masechta Negoyim, Marus Negoyim, Shnaim Shein Arba, splotches of negas are 2 that are 4. Baheris Aza Kasheleg, okay, so Baheris is snow white. Shniela, its child, Kisira Heichal, is lime white. Se'es Katzemer Lavan, a Se'es is wool white. Shniela and its child, Kikrumbeya, is egg white. Okay, now they're not in, that was not in order of whiteness, right? Order of whiteness is snow white, wool white, lime white, egg white. We're saying snow white, its child is lime white, wool white, its child is egg white. Okay, meaning, I guess what I'm saying is like the order of shades are snow white, wool white, lime white, egg white. but in terms of like parent-child relationships, it goes like 1, 3, 2, 4, right? Snow White to Lime White, Wool White to Egg White. I hope that's clear. Okay, so we said, I think we just read this, right? Baheres azo kasheleg shniela kisira heichel seis katsemer lavon shniela kikrumbeya. Reb Chanina mantana maris nigoyim delay Rabbi Akiva. Now says Reb Chanina that the author of that Mishnah is not Rabbi Akiva. The Rabbi Akiva came into Amar Zoy Lamaila Mizoi v'Zoy Lamaila Mizoi imken tiarta sid heichel militzarif. Now, Rabbi Akiva's opinion here is that basically, if you have a splotch of tsaras, a tsaras splotch, and you have half a shear, right? There's a minimum amount, which I think is a gris. There's a minimum amount of nega that you need for it to be tummy. Now, what if you have, some of it is Snow White and some of it is Wool White, okay? Now, there's not enough Snow White to be a full nega, a full measure of nega, and there's not enough Wool White to be a full measure of nega, but together there is a full measure. Joined together, there is a full measure. So, says Rabbi Akiva that they could join together in their order. Now, of course, as we've said, the order is Snow White. Who can tell me? Can you do it already? Snow White, Wool White, Lime White, Egg White. So says Rabbi Akiva that they could join together in those orders, meaning Lime White, yes, but when we get there. Wool White can join together with Snow White. Lime White can join together with Wool White. And we'll see that Egg White can't join together with Lime White because they're both toladas, but it could join together with Wool White. Now, okay. Therefore, Rabbi Akiva cannot be the author of our Mishnah, because our Mishnah is saying that the tolada of Snow White is Lime White, the tolada of Wool White is Egg White. So now let's read it in the Gemara. Amar Rab Chanina. So just hold all that information and let's put it together. So Rab Chanina says, Rab Chanina, I'm reading again, Mantana Maris Negoyim Delok Rabbi Akiva. Who's the author of the Mishnah in Negoyim? Not Rabbi Akiva, the Rabbi Akiva. Because of its Rabbi Akiva came to Amar, since it says Zoy Lamaila Mizoi, V'Zoy Lamaila Mizoi, that since he says that, that basically the order of their whiteness is also the order of their joining together, well, Im Kain, if that's the case, Tiharta Sid Heichol Militzarif. Well, then Lime White, according to that, would be unable to join together with anything based on our Mishnah, because Bade Man Litzarfe, what would Lime White join together with? Litzarfe Bade Baheres? Well, it can't join together with Snow White, even though it is its parent, but because that would be skipping a level, right? Rabbi Akiva says that it could join with the one above it, but not two above it, right? Now, in terms of whiter shades, from Lime White, there would first be Wool White and then Snow White. So Lime White would be unable to join with Snow White because it would be skipping a level, even though it's its parent, right? So Ika Se'ez da Adifa Mine. There is Wool White, which would essentially be like in between them, right? Which would be, brighter than Lime White and darker than Snow White. Decipher by they say, okay, so maybe can Lime White join together with Wool White? No, it cannot. Lav Tolada Dide Hu. Lime White is not a child of Se'es, of Wool White. It's a child of Snow White. So, therefore, the Mishnah cannot be Rabbi Akiva because Rabbi Akiva says that they can only join together one level above. And if that's the case, then you're basically stuck when you get to lime white because it would have nothing to join together with based on our Mishnah that says that it's Dafka Tolada of snow white. Cheve, how are you enjoying today's daf? It's givaldig, right? Right. If that's the case, but then you can ask the same exact question also about egg white. What's egg white gonna join with? Nitzayfer b'adei se'es. Can it join together with se'es? Can egg white join together with wool white? Ikasid dodif mine. Well, lime white is between them. Nitzayfer b'adei sid. Can egg white join together with lime white? No, it cannot. La bar mine hu. It's a different tolada. There's two separate toladas or two separate abs. They can't join together. So So the Gemara says, well, not necessarily because those. Let's go weiter for a second. This question that you just asked about egg white, not such a big deal. Because I'm a bishlama below sid heichol krumbeile kasha. Look, the real question against saying that the Mishnah is Rabbi Akiva is coming from the lime white. That below sid heichol, if you didn't have the question of the lime white, krumbeile kasha, the egg white isn't actually a problem because tafalgav de krum beya mitatoi diseis, even though krum beya is two shades, what's the word I'm thinking of? Two shades, I don't know, distanced from, what's the word I'm thinking of? Removed. Even though egg white is two shades removed, I think that works, from wool white, okay, nonetheless, Rachmane Omer v'lases v'lasapachas, that the pasuk explicitly says se'es, wool white, and sapachas, its child, which is egg white, and therefore, even though egg white is two shades removed from wool white, it would still be able to join because it is its child, and the Torah explicitly says v'lases v'lasapachas. Sapachas tfeila lases, the child, egg white, is tafel to wool white. Even if it is multiple shades removed. But elasid heichol kasha. But the question that we asked about lime white being unable to connect based on our Mishnah and based on how Rabbi Akiva says that it can only go up one level, lime white would be stuck because it would be unable to join together with wool white because it's not its tolada, and it would be unable to join together with snow white because it's too removed, and the pasuk it's two shades removed, and the pasuk doesn't say baheres v'sapachas, it says sa'es v'sapachas. So we don't have that limud to include, right, to jump that level for lime white, and therefore ela machvarta masnisin delay Rabbi Akiva. You know what? You're right. The Mishnah is not Rab Akiva. The Mishnah is Pashit, not Rab Akiva. Azoy. Veichon shaminon Rab Akiva zo lemaila mi zo. Now, where do we know this? Right? We're saying Rab Akiva's opinion is that the order of the shades of Tzara'as is also the order in which they connect to, they could join together. Where do we know this from? If you'll suggest from the following Braise. Rabbi Yossi says, Rabbi Yossi, Shal Yoshua b'noshe Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva's son Yoshua, who is that? As Rashi points out, Rabbi Yoshua ben Korcha. Korcha means the bald one. Rabbi Akiva was known as the bald one, as we will learn about apparently in Masechta Bechoris. Bechoris is probably about 2 years away, Masechta Bechoris. It's funny, 2 years, as I was saying the other day, 2 years doesn't even seem like that long anymore. We've already done 5 years. We're like getting up to Kodshim pretty soon. few months we'll be learning Masechtas Zvachim already. That's not so. A few months we will have already been done with Zraim, Moed, Noshim, and Nezikin. Just Kodshim left basically. Tyrus is only Masechta Nida. The next big push is Kodshim. After that, Mamash at the end, at the finish line. Akoponim. Sorry, I think I think subconsciously my brain wanted a break. Akoponim, where are we? Okay, so Rabbi Yeshua ben Korcha. So Shol Yoshua ben Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva's son Yoshua, Rabbi Yeshua ben Korcha, asked his father, Rabbi Akiva, Mepnei ma amru maris negoyim shnaim shenarba. How come they said that the appearances of negaz are 2 that are 4? Amulo, Rabbi Akiva responded, V'im lav ma yomru. I don't know, how else do you want it to say it? Amulo yomru mikrum beya ulamayla tome. So Rabbi Yeshua ben Korcha suggested, well, just say that from krum beya and brighter is tame. Omar lo mashum etztarfim ze im ze. So Rabbi Akiva says, well, it says shtaim shein arba, and I guess lists them out. What's what? In order to teach that they could join together, that they can create kombinas. They can join together, make combinations in order to create tamei splotches. Amalo v'yomru mikrum beya ulamayla tamei mitztarfin zeim ze. So Rabbi Shimon Karcha suggested, okay, so just say from egg white and brighter, it is tamei, and they could join tzazamen, they could join together. Oh my Lord, Rabbi Akiva responds, Lo melachtet say to you, Kol koin she'eno baki boyen uvishmoseyen eno roe es ha negoim. So Rabbi Akiva responded, well, the reason why it goes into the details of what could join together with what is in order to specify the names of each type of nega and to teach us that priests who are going to be analyzing and going to be checking these splotches in order to determine if they're tamei or tahor, they need to be experts. They need to know all the different splotches and their names and their characteristics and what they could join together with, etc. Right? So it goes into the detail to make the point that the Kohanim need to know these details in order to make decisions about them. Now, here is the point. Here is how we want to suggest that this Brisa is teaching that Rabbi Akiva says kind of that they could join together in their proper order. How so? Interesting. Because Rabbi Yeshua ben Korcha suggested that it should say from egg white and brighter. He did not suggest also from lime white and brighter. If he would have suggested egg white and brighter and lime white and brighter, we could conclude that, well, what it means is that lime white would be joining together with snow white, and egg white would be joining together with wool white. But from the fact that it simply says egg white and up, midelo omar le shmamino deshmiya le Rabbi Akiva de omar kulu vade seis mitztarfin. So from the fact that he didn't specify lime white and up, we want to conclude from here that it means that we are not going to link lime white with snow white and egg white with wool white. Rather, egg white and lime white, according to Rabbi Akiva, can both join together with wool white. Okay, and therefore wool white can join together with snow white because they're both avos, right? Baheres, seis. And we want to say that according to Rabbi Akiva, the implication of this brisa is that Rabbi Akiva would say that lime white is also a tolada of wool white, and therefore lime white can join together with wool white, and that egg white is also a tolada of wool white, and therefore it can connect together with wool white. right? So we want to suggest that both lime white and wool white both lime white and egg white are toladas of wool white according to Rabbi Akiva. And therefore they could both join together with wool white. But vidilma, se'es, vitolata, be'eres, vitolata, maybe meh. Maybe meh. Maybe, the Brisa wasn't going into all the details. What does Rashi say? He says, right, we've seen this phrase before, to be like a peddler peddling around this and that and that and this and having to go into every single detail. Maybe it just said egg white and above, but what it meant is egg white to wool white, lime white to snow white. We want to say that it isn't definitive. Elo mid Rab Chanina, rather from Rab Chanina. The Rab Chanina, that says Rab Chanina, Mashal Rab Akiva lemad over Domeh. What is Rab Akiva's position similar to La'arboya kosis shel chalav? Well, if you have 4 glasses of milk, echad naflu l'socho shtei tipin shel dam. In 1 glass of milk, 2 drops of blood fell into it. Ve'echad naflu l'socho arba tipin shel dam. And in the second glass of milk, 4 drops of blood fell into it. Ve'echad naflu l'socho shmone, and in the 3rd glass of milk, 8 drops of blood. Ve'echad naflu l'socho shtei mesrei tipin va'amru l'sheish esrei tipin, and in the 4th glass of milk, 12 drops of blood, some say 16 drops of blood, fell into that glass of milk. Shekulin maros loven hein, that they're all shades of white, but that each one, as you see the lashon of that they're all sort of subsequent shades of white, and this lashon of I guess the implication being that they were joined together in that order as well. So we want to argue from here that Rabbi Akiva says that kind of these shades of white join in their order. But Amor Deshamas Leil Rabbi Akiva befosuch. But what Rabbi Akiva is describing there is a posuch. Posuch is right Baheres Adamdom. Right, if you remember from listening to Kriyas HaTorah in the synagogue, right, when it says Baheres Adamdom. Right, nega lovan adamdom. What does the pasuk say? B'chiyeh bekarachas or begabachas nega lovan adamdom. So as parachas, does it ever say baheres adamdom? Did I make that up? Maybe. But there's basically another kind of splotch that could be have reddish, whitish, and maybe that is what Rabbi Akiva is describing, but not necessarily. But we don't know what he would say when joining together, egg white and wool white. Okay. So b'cholok mishamsle, how do we know that Rabbi Akiva would hold the same way by different layers of white without any red? Well, maybe he'll suggest, just like by Posuch he holds this way, so he has the same approach by Chaluk, by the different shades of white. Uve Posuch gufe mishamesle, but frek de gemore, does Rabbi Akiva actually even hold this way when it comes to Posuch, when it comes to the red shades? But Ve'atanya, or Ve'atnam, we learn in the Mishnah, Rabbi Akiva says, Rabbi Akiva, Adamdom, Sheboze v'Sheboze, that these layers, these shades of Adamdom, of red, are like wine diluted with water. El shel baheres azo kasheleg v'shel sid de'oimenu. He first describes baheres, snow white, and then he describes lime white. So it sounds like Rabbi Akiva is saying that lime white joins together with snow white. Meaning that lime white joins together with snow white rather than with wool white. V'im isa shel tzemer dea heimenu mibailei. And if Rabbi Akiva was going in order, so he shouldn't say that lime white joins together with snow white. He should say that wool white joins together with snow white. Right? So if we're talking about what can join together with snow white, it wouldn't be lime white, it would be wool white. So Amri Enachinami, they say Enachinami Vatane, that in fact we learn in a Brisa, Reb Nosson Omer says, Reb Nosson, Lo Shom Rabbi Akiva shall sid de'imena. No, Rabbi Akiva doesn't say that it's lime white that is lighter than snow white, Ela shall tzemer de'imena. Rather, it is the wool white, in fact, that is lighter than, that is not lighter, but actually darker, right? One shade darker than snow white. Menon de Baheres Aza He. How do we know that a Baheres is like this snow, the starkest snow white? Wait, snow I think is Shnei, and white is Weiss, right? So a starke Weiße Schnee. Is that how you would say? A strong snow white. A strong white snow. A starke Weiße Schnee. And we got any Yiddish speakers here? That's probably horrible Yiddish. Alright, whatever. So how do we know that with that Baheres is like a starker white snow white? So Abaye, the Pasuk says, "Vim Baheres levana he levana ve'ena cheres levana." It is a starke snow white. Nothing else is like starke snow white like that. Tana Rabbanan the rabbis taught Baheres amuka, that Baheres, the starke snow white, is deep. V'cheinu omer umar'el omik min ha'or, that its appearance is deeper than the skin. Kimare chama ha'amuka min hatzel, like they say that a brighter place, a sunnier place, it looks deeper than a shadier place. Se'es and se'es, which is wool white, which is a little bit darker. Ein se'es ela gavoya. Se'es means a little bit higher up, because darker things are higher up. V'cheinu omer, and similarly it says, Al kol ha'harim aromim, on all of the high mountains, Val kol agvos, and all the hills, hanisos, that are lifted up. So if I guess when side to side, a se'es and a Baheres, the Baheres will look like it's lower, like it's deeper, and the se'es will look like it is higher. Sapachas, ain't sapachas el tfela, and sapachas means secondary. Chenu omer ve'omar sfacheni no, that the curse to Eli was saying that he's, that they're not going to have special priestly privileges, and they're just going to have to join together in a base of like in a mishmar like all the other kohanim, and they're going to say sfacheni na, please let me join to your mishmar. Where am I? What pasuk is pasuk K? He says, so we learned that se'es has a tefela, right? It says v'la se'es v'la sapachas. So right, I think that's what it says, right? The se'es v'la sapachas. Se'es o sapachas o Baheres. So se'es o sapachas. So we see that se'es, wool white, has a secondary one, which we said is egg white. Tefel Baheres minolan. How do we know that snow white also has a child? Reb Zera says, Reb Zera nemar levana b'se'es v'nemar levana b'Baheres. Well, it says white by se'es, and it also says white by Baheres. Ma levana amur b'se'es yesh la tefela. Just like when it says levana by se'es, it has a child. Af levana amur b'Baheres yesh la tefela. So also Baheres also has a child. B'masnisa Tana, it was learned in a brisa hitila kosov l'sapachas bein se'es l'Baheres, that if you look in the pasuk it says adam kiyeh b'or b'soro se'es o sapachas o Baheres. Sapachas is sandwiched between se'es and Baheres. Just like se'es has a child, also Baheres has a child. Wait 1 second. I just wanna. Where is that? The pasuk that says? Where is it? Levana Beres, it says Levana Baseis. What is? Coin Vene Seis Levana. Okay, fine. Let's go weiter. All right. How are you enjoying this daf? It's gewaldig, right? Right. Seis katsemer lavan. Seis is like white wool. Wool white. My tzemer lavan, what's wool white? Amr bevai, amr asi, tzemer noki ben yomo. Clean wool, like on the day that it's born, and it's really white wool. Shemachavnin bo, that they like tie some kind of cover over it. Lemela said they can use it for wool. I guess when a sheep is born and it's got gewaldige pristine wool, they'll like put like some kind of like coat over it to protect it and keep it really white, so they can use it for wool. The rabbis, not Rabbi Kiva, the rabbis who say that the child of snow white is lime white and the child of wool white is egg white, so meaning unlike Rabbi Kiva who says that they go in order of snow, well, everyone agrees that like the order of shades is snow white, wool white, lime white, egg white, but Rabbi Kiva says that that's also the order of combining, whereas the rabbis kind of have like 1, 3, 2, 4 kind of thing, right? Snow white to lime white, wool white to egg white. So where are we? So Amr Chanina Mashal D'Rabban L'Mad David Amr. What can we compare the rabbi's position to? L'trei Malchei v'L'trei Iparchei, to 2 kings and 2 governors. Malchul Shelze l'Malu miMalchul Shelze. This king is greater than that king. V'iparchul Shelze l'Malu miParchul Shelze. And that governor is better than the other governor. Ha'izeh l'Malu mizev v'zeh l'Malu mizehu. But that's basically the same thing as like zeh l'Malu mizev v'zeh l'Malu mizeh. It's like order kind of scenario. Or rather, the king is greater than is like higher than his governor, and the other king is higher than his governor, i.e. making a relationship between the Av and the Tolada directly. Rav Ada bar Abba Omer Kigon Malka ve'al Kafta Rufila v'Reish Galusa. Says Rav Ada bar Abba, it's like a king in Al Kafta Rufila and the Reish Galusa. This is also kind of in order. Se'ela Kigon Malka v'Rufila ve'al Kafta v'Reish Galusa. Rather, I guess when they would go around gallivanting around, so the king would pair together with the Rufila and the Kafta would pair together with the Reish Galusa. So also like a higher lower relationship between those 2 pairs. Rav Amar says Rav Kigon Shabur Malka v'Keser, like King Shapur of Persia and the Caesar in Rome, and they each had their secondary servants. Amalei Rav Papa Rav says Rav Papa to Rav Heimenayu Adif, who is greater, King Shapur or the Caesar? Amalei Rav says seriously. What are you like living in is your head in the ground? Would you live in a forest? Do you not know what's going on? Do you not read the news? Go see who has more influence in the world. The Bible says that Rome basically consumed the whole world. They're like the most powerful influence in the whole world. Obviously, Caesar is greater. Rabbi Yochanan zo Romi chayeves, and says Rabbi Yochanan that this is referring to Rome. That its influence has spread all over the world. Ravina Amar Kigon Glima de Amar V'Shachake, says Ravina that it can be compared to a white garment and a worn out version. Sdina de Chitana a wool garment and a worn out version. Stina de Chitana V'Shachake, and a linen garment and a worn out version. Chaver, that was Davav Masechta Shevuos. We talked all about Marus Negoim Shnaim Shein Arba. I hope you enjoyed. Peace out.